Hello and welcome to the franchise. This is episode 12. I'm your host, Daniel Ehrenberg.
I'm your host, Henry Papali. This is indeed episode 12. We are 22 films in at the end of this one and covered 5 full franchises.
That's big.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't done my rankings. That's going to have to be on the fly.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to do it last night. I forgot, too, and I was done with the whole thing. And I was like, I was like, there's 8 of these things. I got to rank them. I can't do it on the fly.
No, it's going to be tough for me. All right.
Well, I'll help you out.
Thank you.
Because I have them written all down. So
today we're covering 2 kind of movies. Zack Snyder's Man of Steel and Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. I've learned he doesn't like to call it versus. You're supposed to say the V.
Yeah.
Genius. Okay. This is honestly, I think, going to be our shortest episode ever because I have nothing to say about either of these movies. They are absolutely nothing and meaningless, and I will never think about them again for the rest of my life after we're done with this podcast.
Okay. That's thanks for listening, folks. We'll see you next week on episode 13. We're going to be covering...
It was like staring into an endless abyss watching these movies.
Boy. All right. Well, I disagree. Of course.
Okay, well, let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
Man of Steel, okay?
Yeah, give us a little backstory.
So this comes out June 14th, 2013. They took my advice, went a little earlier in the summer.
Yeah, they did. They listened to you.
And this is how many years after Superman Returns? 7?
7.
Okay. So it's directed by Zack Snyder, coming off of all his classic films, and written... It's written by David Goyer, who is the patron saint of bad superhero movies. And it has a story credit by Christopher Nolan because they didn't want fans to be nervous.
I was one of those fans.
Yeah, I was working in the comic book store at the time.
Oh, yeah.
I was at Midtown Comics, and I remember seeing the trailer and saying it looked shitty, and anybody you talk to, if you ever said anything bad about the trailer in that comic book store, they'd come back at you. Oh, but Christopher Nolan's producing.
I think I said that a couple times.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, he exec produced it, right? So it's a little further removed.
No, I mean he was, involved, but I mean, there's no Christopher Nolan in this movie. Like, this is a Zack Snyder picture.
Yeah. Can you go just real quick, if people don't know, some of Zack Snyder's other opuses?
Okay, well, here's the thing you have to say when you're talking about Zack Snyder. We'll do the thing, right?
What's that?
His Dawn of the Dead remake is pretty good. Okay? True. Okay, we got that out of the way.
Dunzo.
Yeah. But then he made 300, which is terrible. He made Watchmen, which is even more terrible. Am I leaving anything out?
No, I mean, those are the 2 big ones. You saw Sucker Punch.
Of course! Sucker Punch, one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
All right.
Yeah. No, Sucker Punch is worse than these movies. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he did something called Legend of the...
Oh, something. Yeah, the Owls of Ga'Hoole.
Yeah.
Legend of the Guardians, the Owls of Ga'Hoole.
There you go.
I didn't see that one.
Yep.
But, no, Sucker Punch is disgusting. It's like watching a 45-year-old man, like, jerk off to child porn. That's the whole movie. But then they put him in charge of Superman. And
I wish we could still figure that one out. We were talking about that. I guess it's a Watchmen character. I mean,
but it's so weird because Watchmen didn't do well.
Yeah, but critics really liked it.
No, they didn't.
I've read quite a few.
Look, I know Roger Ebert loved Watchmen, but like
right, but there were quite a few who liked it, which
But
was
all
really,
the critics that knew the comic hated it.
yeah, I mean, I love the comic. It's obviously one of the greatest comics ever written, and
Yeah,
it
it's
was
top
such
10.
such a disappointment doesn't even do it justice. I saw that on a midnight showing.
Watchmen is sort of like the Wire of superhero comics, where it's like, all right, I guess I gotta read Watchmen, right? People keep telling me.
That's great. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. And he single-handedly destroyed the shit out of it.
Yeah, it's a horrible
Every-
movie.
Yeah.
It's better than these Superman movies.
Wait. Watchmen is. You thought Watchmen was better than Man of Steel?
Watchmen has like 2 moments I like, as opposed to these.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Well, after last week's pugilism,
No, we're just gonna have fun this week, man.
all right. Yeah, but I really like Man of Steel a lot.
I know you do. All right, so should we get into Man of Steel?
Sure, let's get into it.
All right, it has a budget of $225 million. It's a big bet by the studio. Box office 668. So it's not like gigantic. We're in that era now where they kind of expect you to do $1 billion.
Right.
But it's still a big hit.
It's still a big hit.
Yeah.
I did read it had one of the second biggest dropping of the box office, like second weekends of all time. Did you read that?
Yeah, Suicide Squad did the same thing. Where, like,
Yeah.
if audiences don't like the movie, like, they're excited for it, so they'll go see it the first week, and then the
Right.
next week, like, people have heard, oh, it's a piece of shit, I'm not gonna go.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
That was me with Suicide Squad.
And
I
you know,
did see that.
Suicide Squad, I haven't seen it, but I love DC's sort of MO now is they're like, let's look at what fails and let's do that. So with Man of Steel, they saw that Sucker Punch and Watchmen weren't successful,
Right.
and so they're like, let's get Zack Snyder to do our Superman movie. And then
That was what I was going to ask you. Yeah. Why him?
we're talking about a company that was trying to get Suicide Squad off the ground. And they looked back at the movies that have come out over the last few years and said, let's get both lead actors from Focus. A movie that made about $30 million at the box office.
Wow. Good call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Focus.
Focus and Concussion. And a hot
Tell
tub
the truth!
And a hot tub scene from The Big Short.
There's a sweet hot tub scene in that second Dawn of Justice.
Yeah, nice.
There's a
scene.
sexy Amy Adams bathtub crying.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Man of Steel, though. Okay. Originally offered to Guillermo del Toro and Robert Zemeckis, both turned it down.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they decided not to look at any good filmmakers.
But you don't like Del Toro.
No, Guillermo del Toro is the most overrated filmmaker of all time. We'll talk about him more. Has he done a franchise? I think they're doing a second Pacific Rim. Maybe that's how he'll make it to the podcast.
He didn't do. No, I'm way off. I'm thinking he did Blade or.
Oh, he was in.
Blade.
Oh, he did Blade too.
Oh, he did. Okay, I knew he had a hand
and
in something.
he was involved with that second Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Oh.
So in our Desolation of Smog episode, we'll talk about him.
That's going to be a desolation podcast. That entire.
That was
thing.
almost a joke.
Yeah. What me? Oh, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I lost my.
You lost your steam on that one.
Yeah. You shall not pass.
All right, but it was a hit. Listen, 2013, it came in 5th place in the box office.
Oh, did it for the year?
Yeah, do you want to take a guess at the other 4?
Oh, boy.
3 of them are franchise pictures. We are in the era of the franchise now.
That's for sure. 2013, that would have been Iron Man 3.
That's number 2.
2013, I don't think there was no Thor movie. There was no Captain America movie. There might have been the Wolverine.
No, I mean, maybe, but not in the top 5.
The Conjuring?
No.
I don't know.
Okay, number 5. Or no, this was number 5.
Right.
Number 4 was Despicable Me 2.
Wow.
Number 3 was Frozen.
Wow.
Yeah. Number 2 was Iron Man 3.
Right.
And number 1 for 2013, The Hunger Games, Catching Fire.
Of
The
course.
best Hunger Games movie, Hunger Games All-Stars.
That really is good.
Yeah, we'll talk
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, I want to do the Hunger Games.
Yeah, we should do The Hunger Games sometime.
Because that's a nice short one, too. There's 4.
It'll
it's a
be
nice
2 episodes for
2
us.
episodes, yeah. And I've seen them all. Have
Yeah.
you seen them all?
I've seen them all. The first episode, I'll be very effusive, and the second episode, I will not.
Me too.
Yeah.
That'll be very even keeled. Yeah.
Okay, so Man of Steel begins. Gotta open with Superman being born. You can't not.
Can't not
Gotta
do
have a sweet birth scene on Krypton.
it. Thanks for saying Krypton.
Thank you. You know, Russell Crowe as Jor-El.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start there. And here's the thing about these Superman movies, like the Zack Snyder Superman movies.
Yeah. Go ahead. I think I know what you'll say.
I couldn't get that mad about them because other than Henry Cavill,
Mm-hmm.
the casting is remarkable.
Isn't it really? It really is good.
Yeah,
I
okay.
agree.
So you got Russell Crowe hanging around your Superman movie. I thought Lawrence Fishburne was actually a terrific Perry White.
He is.
Who else? Amy Adams as Lois is really good. Probably the best Lois, if I'm being honest.
Oh.
I think so. Who else is in these movies? I mean,
you
Michael
got
Shannon showing up. They're forcing
Michael
him to have a
Shannon.
terrible goatee, but he's around.
That's okay. Michael Shannon's great. I like his girl henchman. She's no Sarah Douglas, but she's good.
I could live without it. But
Okay. Diane Lane.
okay. Well, now, okay.
Oh, you didn't like Diane Lane?
She's serviceable, and Kevin Costner is actively bad.
Oh, I don't agree with that.
I think there's a lot of good actors in Dawn of Justice, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not remembering now off the top of my head, but who shows up in that movie? I feel like there were actors I really liked.
Well, we'll get to it.
Okay, fine.
not there yet.
We're doing Man of Steel now.
Yeah.
Okay, so we spend like it's sort of like that first Superman movie, the Donner one, where we're spending a lot of time on Krypton at first.
20 minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes, and
Too long, though.
it's sort of like a transcription of a 13-year-old's Dungeons and Dragons game.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, though, like, is that stuff that they do in Man of Steel on Krypton, like, a lot of the creature stuff? It did seem very comic booky. Like, was that any of that stuff taken
No.
No,
This is
okay.
Zack Snyder saying, "Hey,
Really?
it's another planet. I bet there's other species."
Oh, all right. I didn't know. I
So
thought maybe
Jor-El's
this is
hopping on a giant bug larvae for no reason.
right. Like, I thought maybe you would at least enlighten
No,
me and say, "Oh, yeah, there's some," because I haven't read so many Superman comics. I thought maybe
it's nonsense, and you have to take it seriously, because one of the things about Man of Steel that we should talk about is this is the birth of the DC cinematic universe.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
It's
Yeah.
a big deal. So Marvel, with the first Iron Man movie in 2008, decided they were going to have a cinematic universe where every movie they do from here on out is going to be somewhat connected and take place in the same world. Right?
Right. And
And
they really
did
hit
it
them out of
very,
the park.
very successfully. They did all those solo movies and then put them all together in Avengers, which was gigantic.
And they're not just successful; they're just so well done.
They're
even
good.
even the weakest ones are just they get the tone right. They get it. They're very creative. They throw on different directors to have a different shot at each thing.
Now they're doing that.
Well, no. They've been even going back to 2011. They got called in Kenneth Branagh to do Thor. I mean, I
No,
thought that
that's
was cool.
That's true, but I feel like those original Marvel movies have like a little bit of a house style
Mhm.
because they wanted them to feel connected as much as they were plot-wise.
Okay.
And now you're starting to see them experiment more with tone.
Yeah, and it still works, though.
No, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And that's been how the comics are forever. Stan Lee is a very diverse writer.
Right.
And, you know, the way he wrote Daredevil, the way he wrote X-Men, the way he wrote Spider-Man were not the same.
Right.
So it's been like that forever. DC, they said, let's copy Marvel. So they started off their DC Cinematic Universe with Zack Snyder having Russell Crowe on flying bugs in Krypton.
It's the weakest part of the movie, in my opinion.
Is there a strong part of the movie?
Yeah, there is. I think we said in the first episode.
Can I be honest? I rewatched
Sure.
Man of Steel for the podcast. I fell asleep and I did not rewind.
Oh, boy! I wish I could have used that as an excuse for some of the movies I had to sit through.
Scream 3.
You jack off. Oh,
Listen,
man. Well, I'm going to keep that in mind. That'll be my little trump card.
That's fine. I don't mean to insult it in that, like, I don't say that as like a joke. I'm just being honest because if
You were really bored.
I was so bored.
Yeah.
I texted Henry, and we never do this because like
That's
part
true.
of the franchise is like we want to go into these fresh. Like we don't want to know each other's opinions. And
Right.
I texted Henry at some point, just in all caps, bored.
Yeah. And remember what I texted back?
Same.
Yeah. Because at the point in time, I was. Because you happened to get me in the Kryptonian.
Oh, we were
Part.
watching the movie at the same time?
I think we were. You were ahead of me.
Okay.
But yeah. Yeah, there was nothing wrong with that. There was nothing wrong with it because I already knew like your previous opinion and you already knew mine.
I
so
was
that wasn't-
honestly hoping to like it more this time.
I'm sure you were.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I did for some of Superman Returns. I guess you didn't have any of that for this, huh?
I just hated it.
Wow. Okay.
I just hated it. And we'll get to Dawn of Justice. I like Dawn of Justice more than Man of Steel,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is not something people say that often.
I don't think anyone said that so far, but
But
that's,
I have a thing where I was at least engaged by Dawn of Justice for like the first half hour.
Mhm.
You know, I didn't think it was great, but
Right.
it was watchable. I was entertained.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was not entertained by Man of Steel. I was just bored.
All right. Well, you want to get into the plot, or do you want to just move? I mean, just get into our opinions.
No, I guess we could do the plot, right? So
Yeah.
we're retelling the origin story, which we did already. No little boy dicks. We get a baby dick. Nothing.
You have to mention.
And so, I mean,
You-
what is
you
it?
have to mention that, right? You can't not mention that.
No.
Oh.
And
No, I meant you in particular. You can't.
no, I'll bring it up.
Oh,
All right, so General Zod's back. He's not Terrence Stamp anymore. He's Michael Shannon, the great Michael Shannon.
yeah, and we mean that with no irony. I mean, he is.
No,
great.
he's amazing. He's one of the best actors we have.
I agree.
And, he had to take this movie so that he can make 3 more Jeff Nichols films. And,
Which are all excellent.
I mean, I haven't seen Midnight Special yet, but I'm very excited.
Oh, I didn't either. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But I very much enjoyed Take Shelter. And what was the second one?
Mud, right?
Mud, which I liked even more.
And he's got another one coming out with Michael Shannon called Loving.
They're
with Joel
pals.
Edgerton.
Oh, yes! And I'm fucking psyched about that movie.
Yeah, I saw the documentary about that a couple years ago, so I know the whole story.
Oh,
Looks really cool.
I don't, but I've
Yeah.
heard Jeff Nichols on a podcast talking about it, and it sounds right up my alley.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Okay, so, yeah, anything to not talk about Man of Steel.
Ah,
And
all right, well, he comes to Earth. A lot of the, let's do this in a more. Let's tell.
Can
the
you
plot.
do the plot? Because I couldn't
Sure.
care.
Sure. I'm going to do the plot like they do it in the movie. It's generally flashbacks. It's not really told chronologically. You're not going to remember this.
No, I remember that. And
Yeah.
part of that is so we can show Henry Cavill staring wistfully, because that's all he knows how to do as an actor.
Right, I disagree. I like that it's done in flashbacks, so we don't have to sit through a whole thing going through the exposition. That
Henry Cavill as Superman, I'd have preferred James Carville.
Is that like an alliterative reference to his last name?
Yeah. That's a line I had queued up.
That is a very weird joke. But, you want to have James Carville in there doing that? Doing that Superman thing? I could do that. I can't tell the difference between chicken shit and cat and salt and the Smallville and the
I love your James Carville.
Oh, that's crazy.
How sad is it that Taron Killam is not going to be on SNL next year?
Yeah, I know.
I know. Oh, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
They got rid of him and Jay Farrow. I'm upset about Taron Killam, Jay Farrow, and John Rudnitsky not being on SNL anymore in that order.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a total conscious avoidance of talking about this movie.
I couldn't care.
And I'm not even fighting it. I love it. I didn't do this to you on anything, but that's all right. That's okay. After the Tyson Larry Spinks fight I put you through last week,
it was Tyson Holyfield and your Holyfield. Sorry.
I got my ear bit off?
No, I just mean that I was grasping for anything.
Oh. Yeah, all right. Well, thank you, I guess. That's a compliment.
Great 30 for 30.
Yeah. All right. So you don't see Superman suit up until the 50-minute mark. Actually,
shades of Richard Donner.
Yeah, exactly like that, because he emerges from the Fortress of Solitude suited up at the 50-minute mark. I loved his first flight. I thought it was great. I thought it was exhilarating and exciting. I loved the musical cues. You could care less.
The music was good. I actually do like the score.
He's my MVP.
Hans Zimmer?
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Like the Hans Zimmer score is like legit good.
It really is.
I did not feel anything about his first flight or what have you.
Really? I loved it. I thought it was great. And
did you believe a man could fly?
I did. I did. I believed a man could fly.
Kind of a man. Almost a human.
I liked the scene early on with Clark working those various jobs. I liked him on the tugboat, saving the guys on the oil rig.
Yeah, because they're trying to make Superman relatable.
I didn't even think that, or I just thought it was cool.
Okay.
I liked it. I thought it was cool. There's some dumb Lois Lane dialogue. It's not Amy Adams' fault at all.
Not at all, no.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course I do. Let's get this out of the way. We've already talked about it, basically. Michael Shannon and Amy Adams are both top-notch actors. Like, Oscar-worthy actors.
Right.
And they're just stuck in this movie.
Yeah, but Michael Shannon is at least I think he has an easier time because he's given like the stereotypical villain lines to utter, like, you will be destroyed and all that kind of stuff.
He's committing less, though. Michael Shannon to me sometimes seems bored.
Oh, he doesn't.
Amy Adams is going for Lois Lane.
Okay, I didn't think Shannon seemed bored, but I agree. She really is committed, and they just give her some dialogue like that line that stuck with me. I'm still thinking about it when she tells Perry she wants to go investigate the
Perry Black, you mean?
Very African American.
We did a racial recast in this movie, but it works.
It works.
Lawrence, because who could care? Who could
Right.
care that Perry
Right.
White is black? And Lawrence Fishburne, I actually remember not liking him in Man of Steel when I first saw it,
He's
And- and I
he does.
still kind of didn't. But
He's a li-
I think he's really good in Dawn of Justice.
He's better in Dawn of Justice in some of the extra footage that I saw.
Oh, right, your 3-hour cut.
Right.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know, but I got some good stuff to say on it. So
Once Upon a Time in Metropolis.
no. But Lois has
That was
a
a
line.
sweet Sergio Leone reference, bro.
I got it. That was good. That's good. That's our second Once Upon a Time in America Sergio Leone reference.
Well, that's a top 5 movie for me, so It comes up more with me than most humans.
It needs another viewing by me. I haven't seen it in a really long
And
time.
I believe you've only seen the 2.5-hour cut.
You are right.
And that's a weird movie where I actually force the 4 hours on people.
Well, I know. I've heard that it's a totally different movie.
It is.
Yeah.
That's an incredible film.
Going back 9 minutes ago, can I get that Lois line?
Do it.
She's trying to convince Perry White that she wants to go to Kryptonian ship to investigate it, and she says, and he won't let her go, and she goes, Perry, I am a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist. Why won't you let me go?
Exposition, exposition, exposition,
Oh.
exposition, exposition.
Why? Who talks like that? Who would
David
say
Goyer.
that? Dude,
You want
David
to get into
Goyer,
that guy?
he co-wrote some of the Batman
No, he
Nolan
didn't.
movies. He co-storied them, right?
Yeah, because he was like DC's guy. They put
Right.
David Goyer on anything.
All right, so but that's a Goyer line.
Goyer's a horrible writer. And,
Yeah, and-
he was
and
involved in those Blade movies. He directed the third one,
Right? Yeah. All right.
which is the worst one.
Not a good. But so then he also has her say out of nowhere when they're in the ice caps. He has her say like, "I didn't write this down. It's just stuck with me. I've seen this movie a bunch."
I have not.
I know. She says, "What if I have to tinkle?"
Oh, I noticed that too. That was
What?
weird.
Like what? Yeah, I don't.
That was a
Really
sort of thing where I might take a note on that line if I cared more.
If you didn't get it yet, audience, Dan doesn't care about this movie.
Oh, you're starting to get mad at me.
No, I'm not. No, I swear I'm not. I'm really not because I don't know what to. I really like the movie. I like the Smallville stuff. I know you hated, and a lot of people didn't like the Kevin Costner dying. It is kind of stupid. I'll give you that. When he dies,
Superman lets his father die by tornado.
right, and it is dumb. I'm going to give you that, but it gets me.
I like any
Why does it get
critical argument that says it's dumb, but
Right, but yeah, it is dumb. Why did no? Because I can't. It's not a critical argument. It's emotional.
you know why it's shot well. Who's the DP on this movie?
Oh boy,
Do you know that?
I don't think it's anybody of any note.
But I do think there are moments where Man of Steel actually looks majestic.
The movie looked
and
great.
captures America in a nice way. Like it's
Yeah.
very Americana, and I like the look of some of the Smallville stuff. It would help if Diane Lane wasn't the best actor in those scenes. And
I really liked her a lot.
can we get into Henry Cavill?
Okay.
Because he's our new Superman, and he's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be Superman for a while.
And that's totally fine with me.
Like they're doing 2 Justice League movies directed by Zack Snyder.
He's doing both.
He's doing Zack Snyder's directing both Justice League movies. And I believe Henry Cavill's showing up at least in Wonder Woman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I think Henry Cavill's at this point almost like their Samuel L. Jackson.
He'll be in everything.
Yeah.
You're going to start seeing him on Capital One commercials.
Probably. Yeah. That's the truth, Ruth.
Here's the thing, I'll just get to right what I love about the movie, and then we can just pick on.
I want to go Henry Cavill, though.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
No. What do you like about Henry Cavill as Superman?
No, I was going to say what I love about the movie, but maybe it's too early for that. I like him. I just think he's got a presence to him.
No,
I think he does. I see what you mean. I mean, I think that we both felt. Did you not? We brought this up before, but I don't think you actually commented on it, because I think I brought it up when we talked about Brandon Routh, who I guess you feel is better.
Well, one of the things I said about Brandon Routh was he's not a great actor, but he is likable.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Henry Cavill is a bad actor who is unlikable.
Oh, I don't think he's unlikable. Jeez. Nick Curran is unlikable. I mean,
Henry Cavill works far better in Superman 2. I mean, Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. I mean, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, where he's asked to be the villain, basically, because obviously Zack Snyder only ever wanted to make a Batman movie.
Right.
And now he has the reins of Superman, so he threw Superman into a Batman movie as the villain. And Henry Cavill works better as a villain because there's nothing behind those dead, lifeless eyes of his.
I think he's good. I like him. He's fine. He could smile more.
He's barely a person.
Oh, you're so... Wait, I was going to say about Chris Evans in the first Captain America.
Yeah.
Didn't we feel kind of like that about him until he kind of grew into the role a little bit?
100%.
Yeah, like he grew into it. I felt much stronger about thinking Chris Evans was the weak link in the Avengers franchise. I don't feel that way anymore.
I 100% agree. I was really down on Chris Evans after Captain America: The First Avenger.
Yeah.
And even the Avengers.
Right.
And he kind of sold me on Winter Soldier.
That's what happened to me.
Yeah.
So it took him 3 years to really...
It took him 3 movies to grow into the role.
3 movies, 3 years. Right.
But now I think he's excellent.
Yeah, I agree. It's funny, though. Yeah, I agree. And like I said, I've seen him in a couple other movies, Chris Evans. I saw him, and he was good in Snowpiercer. He was good in Puncture. Did you see either of those?
No, I've seen Snowpiercer, but I feel like anybody could have done that. Like I loved Snowpiercer, but I didn't love it because of Chris Evans.
No, me neither. But he's good in it. I mean,
he's fine in it.
Right.
Honestly, the only thing I've seen him in other than the Marvel movies is another Marvel movie.
Yeah, the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, because he's Human Torch in those first 2 Fantastic Four movies. Yeah. We should cover that on the franchise.
That'll be an easy one. 3 of them.
Yeah.
And that would also be a lot of fun.
Because they're all so terrible.
That might be one franchise where just every one of them is just us
shitting on them.
I think so.
Lawrence Fishburne's going to pop up again.
Does
Remember, he's the voice of the Silver Surfer in that second one.
I didn't see that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
You never saw Fantastic Four: The Rise of the Silver Surfer?
No. I rented the first one, hated it so much, I decided to skip the second one. And I've seen bits and pieces of the new one, and that was enough for me.
That first Fantastic Four movie, I gave myself like Phantom Menace syndrome, where I thought it was good. And,
you seem to get Phantom Menace syndrome quite a bit.
Because it's like I grew up with Marvel Comics. And so after that first X-Men movie, when all of a sudden they were making every Marvel comic into a movie, I was just so excited to see them.
Yeah, you didn't care.
Yeah. So, like, You know,
Well, I didn't.
so I
have
convinced
Phantom-
myself I loved Fantastic Four. I convinced myself I loved the Ben Affleck Daredevil. All those
Yeah.
things.
I used to make excuses for the Daredevil movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so Henry Cavill, I like him. I think he's fine. He's no Christopher Reeve, but who is? You just actively don't like him.
He's not an actor.
Okay. All right.
He's just not an actor.
Okay.
He's a handsome man they found and put him in a movie.
That's pretty much how I felt about Brandon Routh.
But there was more thought put into the casting of Brandon Routh.
I don't think so.
No, because Brandon Routh, they found a guy who said he looks like Christopher Reeve.
That's more thought.
That is more
that's
thought.
That's less thought.
No, but with Henry Cavill, they just found a guy that was like, he's handsome. That's it. There was nothing that Henry Cavill never delivered an audition for Man of Steel where the directors were like, "Oh, this is the guy."
Right.
He's nothing.
So is he worse or better than Kevin Costner?
He's worse.
Yeah. That's saying something from you.
Kevin Costner is my least favorite actor, but he's an actor. I don't put Henry Cavill even in the running because he's not an actor.
Okay, all right. Let me ask you some questions.
Okay.
I actually it's funny because I tried different experiments going into these now. Sometimes I'll do stray observations and quotes, as you know. This time I actually did something where I wrote down things about the Man of Steel that I didn't like, didn't write much I did like, and then for BVS DOJ, I wrote things I did like. I wanted to try like an opposite effect and see what I could come up with.
I love it.
Right? Just for fun.
Great idea.
Yeah, all right. So here's what I have on Man of Steel negative notes. I'm still giving this a very nice rating, by the way. That won't surprise you.
Have fun with that.
Yeah. The church sequence was nauseating to me.
I don't remember that.
You probably had fallen asleep.
Maybe.
He goes to talk to a priest.
Oh, no, I do remember that. Yeah.
And there's a talk about the cinematography, which for the most part I loved, is very bad in that sequence. But I'm sure that's actually a directorial Zack Snyder decision where they show Jesus on a stained glass window right behind Superman. That's awful.
And you gave Superman Returns shit for trying to.
I'm gonna give
context.
I'm gonna give this shit too. Yeah.
Hank, where did Man of Steel shoot?
What do you mean?
Do you know
location?
What was the location?
Well, it's all over the place. I don't know actually.
I feel like it's got to be Canada.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right because of those winter sequences and, like, when he works in the bar and stuff like that.
I'm going to say there were 2 Battlestar Galactica actors in this movie, and that signals to me that we're in Canada.
Oh, really? Does it?
Tomo Penniket showed up.
Yeah.
And the guy who played Commander Gata, who could possibly remember the actor.
Beyond me on that.
But I was trying to recall good actors in this movie, and now I'm looking at my notes, and Richard Schiff shows up.
Yep.
Great West Wing.
Christopher Maloney.
Harry Lennox, who also pops up in that second one. He's a great actor.
He's in the second one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, the BVS DOJ.
Yeah, BVS DOJ.
Beavis Dodge.
Beavis Dodge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Batman v Superman.
So
Dawn of Justice.
So my points of negativity are the dumb Lois dialogue. The opening on Krypton is too goddamn long.
The dialogue in this movie is like when I was like 7 years old and I used to have my action figures fight and have them talk to each other.
That's how I felt about Superman Returns. Wrong!
That was funny.
Right. So was my wrong joke. Yeah,
It was. It was.
Yeah. What about that horrible musical choice? The only bad musical choice in the movie, I gotta say, because the music is the best part of the movie and the action sequences. Where is that?
The action sequences.
Yeah, that's what you didn't like. Well, the end when they're destroying the world is not. Yeah. But what do you mean? The action sequences in the movie are just part of the special effects, which I loved.
There
You did
aren't
not.
a lot of action sequences in the movie. This is a movie that involves characters standing. There's not a lot of dialogue. There's
I don't
not
think
a lot
we
of
saw
action.
the same film.
There's a lot of
Granted-
characters staring meaningfully.
I lost my train of thought. You keep
Well, let's
digressing.
hurry up. I want to be done with this fucking movie.
We barely covered this movie.
Good. Doesn't deserve to be covered.
Okay. Well, I wish last week would have went like this. Would have been a lot easier on both of us.
Yeah.
I'm falling asleep for the next one I want to. I'm just going to bed.
Yeah.
What was that when he first starts working in the bar kind of thing? There's a horrible musical choice. It's like Contempo. It almost sounds like Chris Cornell. Do you remember
I
that?
think it might have been Chris Cornell.
What was that? That was bad.
Yeah, I remember thinking about Chris Cornell during that movie.
Eek.
But I was thankful for it because it gave me something to think about.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right, so you liked the cast. You did like the cast minus Superman.
Right.
Your most hated. You just didn't like the whole thing, so you wouldn't even put the Krypton stuff as the worst stuff. You just did not care for the dour tone. You didn't care for the dour tone of it.
The Dome.
The Dome.
No, I did not.
Too bombastic. Was the whole movie too bombastic for you, a la Snyder style?
It was just boring, man.
Boring. Okay, so it's a boring movie.
It's
for
a
you.
piece of shit.
Okay, so a la Basic Instinct 2.
It's more competently made than Basic Instinct 2.
It's a competently made
Because
movie.
there are shots. Like, the thing about Man of Steel is I'm going to give it a 2, not a 1.
That's what I gave Superman Returns.
Right. So there's things about it that I like. You know, there's characters that I've loved my entire life
Right.
that are good in this movie.
Right.
And there are beautiful shots of cornfields that are well designed.
You don't care
It's-
for the flying sequences, the special effects.
It's a
you don't-
stupid story. I wasn't excited by any of the action. I couldn't wait for it to be over. And it is 2 hours and 23 minutes.
All right. All right. Not your most in-depth review, but that's okay. I feel like I gave Scream 3 an analysis that John Simon would be proud of.
Scream 3 is a more interesting movie than
Oh,
Man
boy.
of Steel.
All right.
Yeah.
That was Zod dropping another building.
There are no buildings left to drop after that fucking action sequence at the end.
All right. MVP, LVP.
MVP Michael Shannon.
All right.
LVP his goatee. No, I'm joking. LVP Henry Cavill.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with MVP Hans Zimmer. Because
Okay.
I think it's like one of those instances where the score is so integral to the excitement for me of the movie that without it, I think I'd have a different opinion of the movie, and I don't even know if I could say that about anything we've reviewed. I wanted to give my LVP to Zack Snyder just because I really want to give him an LVP for something, but I think I'll have a chance later on to do that. I'm going to give my LVP... who was your LVP, you said?
Oh, I didn't have one yet.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, I did. Henry Cavill.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to give mine to, like you did for Richard Pryor. You didn't give it to Richard Pryor. You
The
gave
character.
it to... Yeah, I'm giving it to Lois Lane because it was blown. It could have been...
Yeah.
She was great, but she just, for me, as a fan of the movie, her character, they blow it. They don't do a good job.
Amy Adams does her best.
It's not her fault.
Yeah.
Love her. Not her fault.
She's a fine actor.
4 stars.
Okay.
All right, we're moving on. Wait, but before we do, hold on. I'm getting a...
Wait, hang on. I'm looking at my notes now, and I just wanted to mention some shit.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, I could put this on hold.
Yeah, can I just say the product placement in this movie?
Oh, go ahead.
Lois Lane, sponsored by Nikon.
I didn't even notice that. That's funny.
Nikon is all over everything she's wearing and her camera. There's no, they didn't want to pay for Jimmy Olsen in this movie, so Lois is taking her own pictures. They fight in front of an IHOP. They fight in front of a Sears. They fight in front of a 7-Eleven.
That's some weird product placement, though. It's not like those are like big things anymore. What are we in, 1995?
But they're so clearly product placement.
I only noticed
that's not an accident.
I only noticed the IHOP.
Nope. Sears and 7-Eleven. And 7-Eleven's in those Marvel movies, too. But,
oh, really? Well, the Marvel movies do a lot of that, but I don't mind because it's just funny.
The most annoying one is Thor. The first Thor movie has some, like, aggressive product placement. But generally, they do an okay job.
Okay.
But, yeah, I just wanted to bring that up.
All right.
So what do we have now?
I was getting interrupted for a second. I'm getting a Skype call.
What?
I swear, I'm getting a Skype call in the middle of a podcast, very unorthodox. It says unknown caller. You mind if I just take it, Dan?
Yeah, fucking go for it.
I might lose you, but we'll just come back to you, okay?
Yeah.
All right, hang on. Hello, this is Henry.
Hey, brah.
Who's this? I'm in the middle of a podcast doing the franchise.
I know. Believe me. I know.
Who is this? Who am I speaking to?
My name's Zack.
Is this Zack Snyder?
I directed 2 Superman movies.
Oh my God!
I hear you covering my franchise, bro.
We are. We're actually in the middle of. We just finished doing Man of Steel. We're about to do BVS DOJ.
Listen, I didn't hear you talk about Man of Steel, but preemptively, thank you.
You're welcome, Zach. Thanks for calling in. I can't pipe in Dan for this call, so I'm just going to talk to you.
Oh, I love that, bro.
I know.
That guy's hilarious, bro.
He loves you too. I can't pipe him in, but now I have you on the line.
Everybody loves me, man. If you're a male growing up in America in the 2000s, you've jerked off to Sucker Punch at least once.
Well, I actually didn't see Sucker Punch, Zach.
What?
I didn't see it, but I did see.
That's fucking bullshit, bro.
I did see Watchmen though.
Oh, classic.
Did you? How have you been excited to enter the DC universe, Mr. Snyder?
The DCU's been great for me. There's a lot of great characters. There's Batman.
Well, you also have Superman, Aquaman.
I love Cyborg.
That was interesting, Zach. While I have you on the line, I might as well ask you, why'd you have, what went into, like, kind of leaving out some of the more dynamic characters?
Cyborg's black.
Oh, okay. But, like, Green Arrow, you didn't think maybe...
But Cyborg's black.
But there's a Green Lantern who was black. You could have...
Was there?
Yeah. You don't... Do you read comics?
I've read comics.
Okay, I just didn't know.
I've read The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller.
Right. That's a great comic. Yeah, sure.
That was the comic I read.
I thought you were going to list some.
No, I've read The Dark Knight Returns by Frank.
Okay. I just had a couple more questions to you. How's the Justice League progressing right now?
Great, bro. We got everybody in place. All the actors you want to see. Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot, Ezra Miller, all the greats.
Yeah. Oh, you got Gal Gadot back. That's good.
Bro, we got Gal Gadot.
Yeah. Who's she?
She's Wonder Woman.
Yeah, but I mean, who was she? How'd you get her?
Some Jew, I don't know.
Okay. How'd you get Henry Cavill? My co-host wanted to ask you about him. How did you cast him?
Bryan Singer said he's a good lay, so I took him.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's interesting.
Ask me more shit, bro.
Yeah, I want to. You released recently. I actually watched the 3-hour edition of BVS DOJ.
I watched the 6-hour edition last night.
Is there There's a 6-hour edition, huh?
Yeah.
Are we going to get that someday, like Ridley Scott stuff?
It's in my screening room. I just watch it with Will Smith when he comes over.
Right. Do you know who Ridley Scott is?
Oh.
Have you heard of Alien?
No, hang on. I know I'm supposed to have respect for him. He directed...
You kind of should know who he is.
Hang on. I got this. Gladiator.
Yeah, he directed Gladiator. He did. I was just going to say, he came out with a bunch of Blade Runner reissues over the years. I wondered if that was your plan for Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Do you mean Runner, that Justin Timberlake movie?
No, that's not what I mean, Zach. I gotta say, you seem like a good guy. You seem like a fun, enthusiastic.
I'm the best.
Yeah, you seem like a guy that kind of has a lot of friends walk around with him at a lot of times.
I've got an entourage.
You do have an entourage, yeah. You don't seem so much into maybe the history of cinema, and I
love the show
don't
Entourage.
Be insulted. Okay, but like I meant more the history of cinema.
That came out in 2009.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So basically, did you start watching movies in the year 2000? Was that kind of your zeitgeist for what you put into your movies? Was it 2000?
No, I've seen the movie Twister. I saw Volcano and Dante's Peak. Don't question me.
I'm sorry. I didn't. I was no disrespect meant it. I'm honored that you called into the show. You're slightly perplexed.
I call into any show that's talking about my great classics, Man of Steel and Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you. I'm glad that you're a fan. Are you a fan of the show? Have you listened to any other episodes, or did you just kind of hear that we were going to be covering this?
I listened to the one where you talked about A Good Day to Die Hard because I love that movie, and I'm friends with Len Wiseman.
Really? You know Len Wiseman?
Yeah, I love his Underworld movies.
Have you ever been to any of his key parties?
Yes. Yo, I've got my dick wet at those key parties.
Oh. Zach, I mean, well, this is an unrated podcast, so you actually can say
my dick stinks.
You can say whatever you want.
That shit's waterlogged.
Yeah. Okay. So you the Underworld. Yeah. You and Len Wiseman are pals.
Shit. Yeah, bro.
Any plans for the future beyond the DC universe? I know they extend for the next 10 years.
I'm excited AF about all of my upcoming ventures, including a sequel to The Rise of the Guardians, The Owls of Ga'Hoole.
I'm sorry, you're excited AF?
Yeah, as fuck.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I didn't know that. Okay.
I'm a millennial, bro.
Yeah, you're not actually. You're not a millennial. You're 50 years old.
I'm a trans millennial.
What's a trans millennial?
It's like a transgender, right? They want to be another gender. I'm a millennial.
So you want to be of another generation?
I am. I'm trans.
So there's no questioning it. You are of another generation. Whether
you can't question it, man.
You are what you are. You were born in 1966, but you want to be born in 1986. So you are. I accept that. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. Would make you have just turned 30 years old. So, okay, that makes sense.
I'm very excited about Zendaya playing Mary Jane in the new Spider-Man movie.
I don't know what that means, but where are you calling me from, by the way?
Montauk.
Really, I expected kind of a more exotic location.
I'm on vacay, bro. I went out.
Vacation?
I took the jitney. I'm out in the Hamptons.
That's where you vacation, huh?
I went to P. Diddy's white party yesterday.
Oh, how was that?
It was fucking great.
That's pretty cool. I wouldn't have expected you to be in Montauk. I would have thought more like, L.A. or
I got them digits from Blake Lively.
Oh, okay. All right.
Got them digits.
Right. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, man. I want to thank you for calling in. We do have to get to your movie. We want to get to BVS DOJ, Beavis Dodge. And
was that a joke?
No,
there are no jokes in my movie.
I am not making a joke at all about your movie at all, my friend. It was just a shorthand because it's such a long title. Maybe stick off the subtitles on the next one.
I like to make what I call ... movies.
Mm-hmm. What, you mean ellipses? Or?
No, I put Batman versus Superman ... John of Justice. John of Justice.
Yeah. See, they're hard to say, Zach. Yeah.
I've said it 1,000 times, man.
So you're used to it. Yeah. Well, shorthand is Beavis Dodge, but there's nothing wrong with that, man. It's we're trying to be as cool as you. So it's,
Good luck.
I know. It's not easy. But, hey, feel free to call our show anytime, and hopefully we'll be able to get Daniel on the call next time. But we're going to go and cover Beavis Dodge. And,
well, you'll have me on again when you get to the Dead movies, because I'm I obviously top George Romero, and I'm the man.
Oh, have you met George Romero?
No.
Do you know that George Romero did an original movie?
I know he one time made a zombie movie that takes place in a mall, and I thought that was a sweet idea, bro, so I did it.
Oh, okay. You don't know who he is. All right.
He's a director, right?
Yeah, he is a director. He's a minuscule, kind of not as important as you. He hasn't made the money you've made.
Who is, man? I mean, it's me, Spielberg, Scorsese, and Coppola.
That's the holy quadrilogy. Yeah.
Well, of course. My favorite movies of all time, it's well documented, are The Terminal, Kundun, and Jack.
Well, Zach, I want to thank you again. All right,
Thanks.
We're trying to get I gotta cut this short as much as I could go all day talking to you, buddy. But I'm very flattered, and you have a good time in Montauk, and get back to refereeing those lacrosse matches. All right, buddy.
Yo, bitches, I'm coming back.
All right. Goodbye, Zach.
Bye.
Oh, Dan.
What?
Oh, hello, Dan.
Yeah.
You will not believe what just happened, dude.
I was on mute for like fucking 10 minutes.
I know. I didn't mean to do that, but it was fucking Zack Snyder called into the show.
What?
Look, we must have got, I don't know, somebody spread the word. He called into the show. I couldn't get him off the line. I tried several times to cut off the conversation, but it just kept going, and it was kind of amazing. I was trying to Skype you in, but I couldn't do it.
Fuck. What happened?
Yeah. I'll tell you off air.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you off air. We kind of went all over the place. He's in Montauk.
Oh,
which is
shit, Long Island.
Yeah. It's a little odd that he was in Montauk. I found that weird. I didn't want to say he was a dick. Well, I do want to say he was a dick. But,
Whoa.
no, but he was very friendly to me. He was very friendly. You know, he was kind of affable. Not too knowledgeable about film.
Shocker.
Yeah. He was very excited, though. He was like a very excited guy. Like maybe
That seems about right.
some Ritalin maybe would be in order. I don't know. Some Adderall.
I would definitely say that.
It's weird. I have it recorded, so
Okay, good. Well, we'll put it in the episode.
Yeah, we'll put it in the episode. I'll tell you about it off air, privately. I'll tell you what. It was weird. Our listeners. I mean, it was a good thing for the show.
That's great.
So okay.
Do you want to cover Batman versus Superman?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay, so Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, directed by Zack Snyder. Mm-hmm. David Goyer's back in the writer's chair, along with Chris Terrio.
Yeah.
Who had just done Argo at the time. Argo, fuck yourself. He wrote that.
Argo, fuck yourself.
Yeah. This one has an even higher budget of $250 million. And box office 872.7. Again, a huge number, but they wanted $1 billion.
Yeah.
This was released March 25th, 2016. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
They went March with this one.
Yeah.
And that's rare.
I saw it in opening weekend.
I didn't see it until I had to for this podcast.
Right.
It's the 5th highest grossing movie of the year so far.
Is that right?
Uh-huh.
At $800 million, it's still... I mean, I know they wanted $1 billion, but I still would have thought it was higher than that.
It's the 5th... Do you want to guess what beat it?
Oh, it's Captain America Civil War.
That's number 1.
Yeah. Deadpool?
No.
Oh.
This did better than Deadpool, but Deadpool had such a lower budget that's kind of considered more of a success.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hit me.
Zootopia.
Another year of these animated things. Yeah.
The Jungle Book.
Wow.
And Finding Dory.
Wow. Lost to 3 cartoons.
Well, Jungle Book's not a cartoon.
Oh, that's right. That's live action.
That's the Jon Favreau live-action film.
Oh, yeah. What a weird career he's had.
He really has had a weird career.
I saw Swingers in the theater.
Yeah, I didn't, but I saw it very soon thereafter, and I love that.
I mean, he didn't direct that, but you know what I mean.
No, he wrote it, but, if you look at, his directing credits, and it's like, oh, he's the guy that did Maid, Zathura, Iron Man, and Chef.
And Cowboys and
Aliens.
Yeah.
And John Carter.
He did that too?
I think so.
I think you're conflating Cowboys and Aliens and John Carter. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're not. I'm sorry. I didn't think he did that.
I thought the only reason I had any interest in John Carter was Jon Favreau.
Okay.
I could be wrong, though. Anyway, Johnny Favs. And so Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. It starts out. You want to do the plot?
Yeah. I'll say that I watched on my second viewing, since I figured, why the fuck not? It's already 2.5 hours. The longest theatrical Superman movie yet, or not? The first Superman's 2.5 hours.
It's the longest feeling movie yet.
Well, I watched the 3-hour cut, buddy.
Yeah, I watched, 2 hours and 34 minutes or something?
Yeah, no, actually, there's a few that come in at 2.5 hours. Superman Returns.
Yeah, Returns is over.
Superman 1.
Yeah.
It's shorter than Man of Steel. I mean, it's longer than Man of Steel. Man of Steel didn't...
Only by 10 minutes.
Yeah, but it's still. I watched the 3-hour cut, and I had originally, I'm not going to give my star rating yet, but I had originally given this movie a 2 when I saw it in the theaters. This was pre-franchise podcast. This is just me talking to Dan.
Yeah, because we're such nerds that we've been doing these ratings since
Oh my
before the
God.
podcast.
Oh, years.
Yeah.
Years. Us and all our friends, really.
Well, Casey.
No, with my group, my other group of
Jan and Alex and shit?
yeah,
Okay.
that whole gang. We were always doing this top tens and all that stuff.
Well, top tens for sure, but the whole 5.
Oh, the 5-star rating thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that might just be
I think that originated with Casey. This is
Yeah.
not interesting to anybody but us.
not at all.
Yeah.
Sorry if we mention people's names. I don't think they'll care.
I think it's fine.
But I watched the 3-hour cut just because, like I said, who cares? I might as well add a half hour and see if anything pans out. And
You know what I watched for that half hour?
It kind of did. What, paint dry?
Yeah, I stared into space. Better movie.
Your space app on your phone or space like in at the wall?
Just an empty space.
Mm. That was, okay.
Like Henry Cavill's eyes. All right.
See, I think empty actor, not to get back to that, but real quick, I think more like that guy in John Carter. I think more like Kit Harington.
Wait.
Like
Kit Harington was in John Carter?
no, I have no idea.
The guy from John Carter is Taylor Kitsch, who's a very good actor.
Okay, you just said that Taylor Kitsch is a very good actor.
Yes, because I've seen Friday Night Lights, and he's amazing in that.
All right, fine. Kit Harington. There's a guy who I don't see much happening there.
He's currently nominated for an Emmy.
Okay. But you see what I'm saying,
For
though?
his role as zombie Jon Snow.
You see what I'm saying, though?
Of course I do.
We have different, it's just not even it's different. It's just like certain actors will strike you
No,
as
but
more,
I agree with you on Kit Harington.
As
To me,
certain
Kit
actors-
Harington is similar to Henry Cavill.
Right. Certain actors will strike you as more vacant than others.
Sure. And
Okay.
to be fair, Taylor Kitsch, I have only ever liked him in Friday Night Lights. So I don't know if he's the greatest actor in the world, but they harnessed him correctly on that show somehow.
I know. I'm just getting this from Reuters. He is not the greatest actor. All right, so the plot for Beavis Dodge, a little hard to set up, to be perfectly honest. It's kind of all over the place. We didn't really do much of a plot for Man of Steel, but I think we could have if we really wanted to. We definitely could have. I mean, we didn't even get into Zod trying to make Earth into Krypton again. And there's an actual.
Who could care?
I know who could care. That's your meme for this show. But we could have said that. My point in this one.
There's not really a villainous plot.
Yeah, there's so much going on.
Jesse Eisenberg is hanging out as Lex Luthor. He raises Doomsday. Batman is distrustful of Superman. They fight, but then they fight Doomsday together, and Wonder Woman's hanging out or whatever. That's the plot.
Yeah. You know what? I feel safe not doing a total plot deconstruction of this because this is, by the way, we should mention, the newest movie we've ever covered.
Yeah, by a lot.
I mean, we both had to kind of scramble to get this and watch it because it literally just came out a couple weeks ago. So
I spent $4 on Amazon Prime.
I had to spend $15 on a Blu-ray.
Ugh.
But the bonus of that was I have some copies to give away if anyone wants them, and I'm sure there are people who do.
I'll take it. You gave me a copy of Man of Steel at one point.
Oh, just give it back.
Hey, it came in handy for this podcast.
That's true. You never know, right? That's true. Good point. Now I want to get more. I want to name some things that were in the director's cut, and you have to tell me if they were in what you saw.
Oh no, I'm not gonna be good at this.
Why? Because you just watched it.
I know, but there were moments in this movie where I realized I haven't been paying attention in 10 minutes.
Okay. So
a lot of checking my phone during this one. I was very into my fantasy
When we-
baseball team.
When we
yesterday.
get to episode, I don't know, 89, maybe we'll redo this episode.
No.
As you can actually
I will
watch the
never
movies.
watch these movies again.
Oh, you got to let me know when you do this because I want to check out too. All right?
It's impossible not to.
Not fair. I'm not saying I didn't go out and take some smoke breaks.
All right, come on. Let me get
lot
into
of
it.
smoke
Let me get
breaks.
into it. All right. I know
Yeah.
you're going to do the 3-hour cut thing. Let me just get into what I like.
Well, no, yeah. But I was going to do it in a
Because-
roundabout way.
Okay, this movie was I was entertained by it for about a half hour.
Which half hour?
The first one.
Okay.
I thought it was better looking. I will say this right off the bat.
Hmm.
Right off the bat, apropos.
Let's hear it. This is what I was kind of waiting for.
Ben Affleck's a great Batman.
He's very good.
I loved him, and I'm all in for a Ben Affleck Batman movie that's directed
Wow.
by someone who knows how to direct. And by that, I
Like
mean Ben Affleck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck is delightful. He's fantastic. And Amy Adams.
Delightful's a very funny word to use because he's like anything but delightful. He's really
Well, it's
an
weird.
odd,
It's weird
an
because
odd adjective.
yeah, the
He's-
performance
yeah.
Affleck is giving is like really good if you're thinking of Batman as the Batman that has existed for many, many years. It's a little bit at odds with the portrayal of him in this movie as a disgusting sociopath. But that's
Well, yeah, he's essentially the Batman, not in completion, but and in the director's cut, he is more so sociopathic.
well, he
more,
brands people with the bat. So,
yeah, and in the direct, do you want to keep going on Ben Affleck for a second?
you
before
go,
I
you
tell
go.
I want to tell you that the best parts of the director's cut, they took out. You know what I say? And this is guess who my LVP is in this movie?
Who?
Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers. Put the movie out 3 hours. Who cares? They should have released it and made it 3 hours. You wouldn't have lost a single viewer.
No,
Everyone,
but Zack Snyder shouldn't have made a 3-hour superhero movie.
right? But since he was doing it, and since it is what it is, let him do it. Let him put out the 3-hour movie. It was a significant improvement. There have been exceptions. There's been a few director's cuts that have been better than the original, in my opinion. Most of the time, I don't think they make that much difference. This one made a pretty big difference. Story-wise, fleshing out the characters. There is an entire thing they completely cut out where Clark Kent is in the movie a lot more, and he is really going into who this Batman guy is. And he seeks out people who've been affected by him. There's a sequence of a criminal in jail who gets branded in jail and is murdered. But that's because...
in my cut.
But you find out it's because Lex Luthor paid to have it happen, and then you meet the guy who was murdered. You meet his family, and the family hates Batman.
Oh, he's like Snot Boogie in The Wire.
He's not Snot Boogie in The Wire.
Snot Boogie.
He's not. It's not really Snot Boogie from The Wire, though, right?
No.
That's a good call. But yeah, like he goes to is the scene. Well, that's what I was asking you. You were going to say you didn't know, but you will. Did you know? Did you see the part where Clark Kent visits a tenement and encounters a guy who says you shouldn't be out at night. Nobody should be out at night because he's around. And the one woman says only people who need to worry about him should worry about him. Did you see?
That rings a bell.
Okay, well there was a. I don't remember it from the original cut. I mean, I might be superimposing some memory on you since you were checking out a lot, but
Maybe.
there's a lot more investigation upon the brutality of Batman, and the point of it being why Superman actually has some animosity towards Batman, because
right.
there's
So,
really not any given Like, he just, like, wants to, you know what I mean? Like, Batman has good reason, because Superman fucking killed an entire building of people.
Yeah, there's a lot of pretty decent scenes between Affleck and Jeremy Irons as, what's his name? Alfred. And yeah, that's right. Die Hard 3's Jeremy Irons.
Simon Gruber.
Yeah. And that sort of gives that character some motivation. But yeah, Superman is like a little bit of a blank slate. But a lot of that I put on Henry Cavill.
You still not caring for it.
Because he's just a blank slate.
Not enough to get you into...
No, and this is a movie where a bunch of the actors from Man of Steel are better in this movie. Like, I liked Lawrence Fishburne significantly more as Perry.
I did too. He's less Morpheus.
He's funny.
Yeah,
he's a little light. I think working on Blackish has helped him.
That was my problem with him in Man of Steel a little bit, and in a lot of Lawrence Fishburne roles, is he's just too self-serious all the time, and I just kind of want to see him lighten up a little bit, and he is better in this. I agree.
And I thought Amy Adams was better. She does have the indignity of Zack Snyder in her like second scene in the movie, saying like, "Just show your tits, just show your tits. Let me see your tits."
I'm sure it was real painful for Amy Adams to get into a bathtub with Henry Cavill.
Ugh. I mean, it's so bad, but but I was kind of into the movie on that level because there are actors I enjoy. Like I liked seeing Jeremy Irons. Affleck was great. Like,
I'm really happy that you liked Affleck, and I'm happy that I liked Affleck because of all the shit he took for it. I mean, that's what you're going to shit on. I mean, that was even before the movie came out, right?
For fuck's sake. Like, there's so much in this movie that's terrible. Like, Ben Affleck's my MVP.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
But I gotta say, love Jesse Eisenberg.
Interesting.
He's not Lex Luthor.
Right.
But if you put that aside, I just love Jesse Eisenberg, and I love what he brings to any movie.
Right. I love Jesse Eisenberg, too, as an actor. I didn't like him very much the first time I saw it. The second time I saw it, it kind of grew on me. And I think that's the kind of performance that it's sort of meant, it almost has to be. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Do you remember? Yeah, no, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, because it's so different and because it's so unorthodox, it's not something on my first viewing. It was bothering me a little bit. I just kept thinking, oh, he's just doing Mark Zuckerberg, Roger Dodger, the kind of the Jesse Eisenberg manic Woody Allen thing.
Yeah, but I love that.
But but do you love it for Lex Luthor? So
I was okay with it.
It worked.
It's what I said about when we talked about Superman 3. You know, I said I don't want to give Robert Vaughn too much shit because the Salkinds cast Robert Vaughn, and Robert Vaughn gave them a Robert Vaughn performance. And to me, in this one, they cast Jesse Eisenberg. And Jesse Eisenberg's all the fuck over this movie.
Yeah, he really is.
And I love it.
Yeah.
That's what he brings to it, and I'm fine with that.
Was Jenna Malone is not in your cut, right?
No, I read she was going to be in the movie, and I was excited because I like Jenna Malone, but I did not see her.
She is in mine, and she is not as reported by all the fan sites. She's not Batgirl.
Oh, was that? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that was a thing. She's gonna be Batgirl.
She's like
gonna be Barbara Gordon.
Remember, Coolio was not in the theatrical cut of Daredevil, but when they put out the director's cut, he was like all over that movie.
I never saw the director's cut of Daredevil.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it. No, she's just a random scientist who helps Lois out. But she's in it, inexplicably cut. I mean, there's also this big scene that helps explain a little bit of the whole distrust of Superman in the courtroom when they're accusing him of murdering those people in Africa in the beginning. and it completely explains it. And they took it out of the movie. Like it's like they took this actor out, this really good African actress, and she comes in for like a testifying scene. It's very short. It's like 40 seconds. It explains everything, and that would have gotten Superman. It gets him more understanding and sympathy. And it's just it would have helped the plot, you know. And it was just some cool stuff. I appreciated the. I just say let the 3-hour thing go, you know. And and in your cut was Steppenwolf in your cut?
What?
Yeah, I figured you wouldn't know him. I didn't know him either. I had to look him up.
Who's Steppenwolf?
He's one of Darkseid's cronies.
Oh, who could care?
I know, I'm just asking.
Oh,
I'm asking if it's in your cut.
They're doing the same annoying thing Marvel did, where they're like trying to like big up Thanos for like 10 years.
Right,
and,
right.
DC is doing that with Darkseid.
But I'm asking you, that wasn't in
No, I don't think so.
He's communing with Lex Luthor. And then in that scene at the end when Batman visits Lex in the prison, did you like that?
No, but it was fine.
When he did, and in my version, he tells him he's shipping him to Arkham Asylum. He's not going to stay in prison.
I was already out, honestly.
Plot wise, you were out?
I was out. I mean, it's very easy to hop out of this movie when 5 minutes in, you're meeting Jimmy Olsen for the first time. And he's an extremely handsome CIA agent who is killed by terrorists immediately.
Yeah, very odd. Was he a CIA agent in the comic?
No, he's a photographer for the Daily Planet.
How many times am I going to be asking you that question during these Zack Snyder movies? Is that a thing from the comic?
Well, we should wrap up in like 5 minutes, dude. But
no, I meant if throughout the DCU universe.
Oh yeah, I mean, nothing's from the comics. The DC is so beholden to these movies now, though, that they'll be in the comics after. I'm sure Jimmy Olsen will be a CIA agent.
Did you like the Flash appearance when he kind of appears in some kind of futuristic vision to Bruce Wayne?
No, I didn't, and I don't understand what they're doing with the Flash. I don't understand what DC is doing, having a successful television DC universe, and just totally going at odds with it in the movies.
Well, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know, they have
that's kind of a separate opinion.
They have 4 successful TV shows, and they're just ignoring them. We didn't talk it during the Supergirl episode. There's a Supergirl TV show. And,
we didn't mention that?
No.
Yikes.
And people like that show. I watched The Flash, and I watched Legends of Tomorrow, and I don't know why we're just ignoring those in these movies.
I don't know either.
They need a handsomer Flash.
I don't know. Well,
we need Aquaman. I mean, it was so stupid. The Aquaman thing looked like it was shot in like 5 minutes. Like they were like, "Oh, we got Momoa for like an hour. Let's shoot this scene." And,
I didn't mind that.
The fucking cyborg thing. It's nice to see Joe Morton for a second, I guess, but like,
yeah, I mean, that was one of those cameos where I was like, "Is that Joe Morton?"
There's a lot of like just good character actors showing up in this movie. Like, like I'm a big fan of Scoot McNairy.
Oh, me too.
Yeah,
we kind of discovered him together. Didn't we? We started commenting on him, or like, what was it, Killing Him Softly, or
Killing Them Softly, and then Halt and Catch Fire.
And on what?
Halt and Catch Fire.
No, that's not where I got him from.
Oh, really? No, he's a regular on Halt and Catch Fire. He's
no,
great.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
But I think Killing Them Softly was the place we both first saw him.
Right, Killing Them Softly, Gone Girl. He just shows up in a lot of very good movies.
He's fantastic.
He's really good. Yeah. Good actor. And he's done some other television now. I want to look him up, but anyway, I won't.
Halt and Catch Fire, watch this. Possibly the most underrated show on television.
Oh, whoa. All right.
Yeah.
All right, so are we going to wrap up, or you want to, because we still got to do rankings.
I mean, do you have more to say about this movie?
I don't know. I mean, I was sort of dreading having to sit through it, and I chose masochistically, like I said, to watch the director's cut, but I was glad I did, because it fleshed out a little bit more for me. It made the movie less kinetic, better paced, and more watchable. Now, will I ever watch the 3-hour version again? I don't know, but if I ever have to watch this movie again, I probably will choose that version, because it really did add something to it. It just had some cool scenes. Because it's not like an added 30 minutes at the end, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's scattered throughout. And,
Okay.
Yeah, so.
All right, I have one point to make, and then I'm going to
Please.
read a couple of notes, and then we'll do our rankings and shit
Okay.
and wrap up. Okay.
All right. Yep.
Here's my point. The movie is called Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, and the Dawn of Justice there after the colon is trying to set you up, because this is the big bang of the DC universe, right? They're setting it up.
Yeah.
You see Wonder Woman. I actually did not mind Gal Gadot; she was fine.
I agree.
And we see Aquaman, we see The Flash, and we're setting you up for future movies.
And Cyborg.
It's clearly Cyborg. It's clearly a backdoor pilot. Like, it's such a weird movie because it's a 2.5-hour, $250 million franchise picture that's basically a backdoor pilot for future DC movies and a Batman movie. And
Yeah, you're right.
and the thing that's an odd choice about it is it's an origin story for the DC universe, but Batman is over 40 and has already fought the Joker.
Right, and presumably Robin's been killed.
So this is Dawn of Justice, but we're dealing with a Batman that has been in action for over a decade.
No, 20 years, they say it.
Okay, and
Yeah.
and a Wonder Woman that dates back to at least 1918.
Right.
Why would you make that decision?
I don't know. I can't answer those questions. I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Who could?
I just
Well, yeah.
hopefully Zack Snyder and Jeff Johns or whoever the fuck, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, that'd be nice. Did Jeff Johns have a hand in this?
yep.
Huh. Okay.
Jeff Johns is a comic book writer.
Yeah, but we like Jeff Johns, don't we?
We like Jeff Johns, but Jeff Johns wrote a horrible run on the Justice League, the comic. And
Right, but we did like his Flash run.
his Flash run's great. His Superman run's great.
Right. Okay, because we spoke about him a few weeks ago.
Yes, we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
But his Justice League run opens with a long, boring, terrible arc where Darkseid's the main villain, and we're dealing with his minions. And I feel like that's where we're going with the Justice
Oh, that's
League
definitely
movies.
where we're going.
Yeah, it's going to be
Yeah.
an adaptation of Jeff Johns' terrible Justice League arc.
That's where we're going. Because I think that would explain the Flash vision being in the future, saying, "Am I too soon?" And all those winged creatures in Batman's vision too.
Yeah, those are parademons.
Right. So
I'm so mad at myself for knowing the word parademon.
don't be, my friend. There's nothing wrong with that.
All right, rapid fire notes. I'm proud of some of these.
All right. All
Okay.
right.
Negan and Maggie as Bruce's parents.
Love it. I half expected them to rise from the dead after they were shot and killed by Joe Chill.
Yeah. Okay. You should hop the harbor more often. Gotham City and Metropolis are directly next to each other.
Remember me telling you that
Yeah.
after I saw the movie? Remember that? I said to you, I had no idea it was like Hoboken in Manhattan.
If I was
Yeah.
an Indian actor, my dream role would be documentarian Vikram Gandhi. He's like a pundit on like a TV show in the movie.
Oh, okay. There's a lot of pundits in the movie. You got Neil
Yeah.
deGrasse Tyson.
I
You got
know.
Anderson Cooper might as well have a credit. He's in the movie so much.
Okay.
So much.
Here's a quote from Perry White. Nobody's ever said anything more accurate. Nobody cares about Clark Kent taking on the Batman.
well,
Very important to have Kevin Costner return in this one.
that scene is unnecessary.
Sure is. I wrote, what I've always wanted to see is Batman and Wonder Woman teaming up against Doomsday. And lastly, just something I remembered while watching this movie. Ben Affleck played George Reeves, the guy who played Superman.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's odd. And I love that movie, Hollywoodland.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Oh, I have two quick notes I want to bring in real quick.
Okay.
One's, I wish I would have brought this up when I was talking to Zack Snyder on the phone, but he really caught me off guard with that phone call.
That's right.
Yeah, but I'll get to that after I get to... I thought, actually, ironically, of all the action sequences in the movie, my favorite one was the one towards the very end, where not the very, very end with Doomsday. It had nothing to do with Doomsday. It was purely Batman, when he jumps into that building and just beats the crap out of all those villains, and it's just very, like... It's very Frank Miller-y. He's like just very brutal and like throwing people through walls. There's even some panels taken from The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, that's the comic that Snyder read.
Right. Yeah, he talks about that with me when we speak.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he mentioned that.
I didn't care about that.
I thought that sequence was cool. I thought it was cool.
To me, the best action sequence in the movie was
tell me.
The flashback to the events of Man of Steel, and we see it from like Ben Affleck's perspective.
You did like that, genuinely?
That I liked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, here's for my...
Did you not like that?
No, I did. It was fine.
Okay.
I just thought it was funny that I didn't even think of that as an action sequence. I thought of it like as a prologue.
It's a smaller scale action sequence. It's just everything in these fucking movies have to be universe destroying.
Very true. So it's like that. Well, that's why perhaps my favorite action sequence is a fight scene between humans.
Can we agree that the hallway fight in episode 2 of the Daredevil TV show is better than every action sequence in Man of Steel or Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice?
We can.
Thank you.
Except for Superman flying.
Please.
No, I'm just kidding. It's very different. But yeah, Daredevil. Well, Daredevil's like my favorite superhero thing ever.
Okay, we can't get into Daredevil.
Right. Okay, now my final note. Did you catch the Watchmen reference?
No.
He has. There's this. I don't even remember the scene. I think it's when Batman's walking through during his fight with Superman, where he's like beating the crap out of him. There's a long shot of him walking, and on the wall in the foreground, in Latin, it says, "Who is watching the watch?"
Yeah, okay.
Saw that?
Yeah, I think I noticed it, but I didn't take it in.
Yeah,
who watches The Watchmen? Sure.
Nice.
Yeah, fine.
But I would have asked Zach about that, but I forgot.
Yeah.
He probably...
Yeah, sadly no reference to Sucker Punch, which would be some whore dressed hot.
I think he mentioned that in my conversation with him, so that's all right.
Okay.
You're going to really like it.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
All
right, rankings or star review first?
Oh, star review first.
MVP, LVP?
1.
1?
Yeah.
So you like this less than Man of Steel?
I gave Man of Steel a 2, huh?
Yeah, you did.
I'll give this a 2 also, I guess.
I gave the original version a 2. I'm bumping this to a light 3. Yeah.
Okay.
Giving it a light 3. My MVP is Diane Lane.
Mine's Affleck. Diane Lane had no business being in this movie.
I like her.
And
I love her, and I think she's committed.
Fine. And my LVP is, again, Henry Cavill.
So two in a row with Superman being your LVP.
Right.
All right, and Warner Brothers is mine.
Okay.
All right.
Let's rank them. Let's rank them.
I can help you out.
How many are there?
There are 8.
Okay, including Supergirl?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go one, you go and then I go, and then you go and then I go. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean you go, I go?
Okay, so like my number 1, Superman Returns.
Okay. All right, I'll write these down so
Please do, yeah.
so you can keep track of yours.
My number 1, Superman Returns. What's yours?
Superman 1.
Okay. My number 2 is Superman 2. What's yours?
Oh no, just do yours, and I'll do mine after you.
fine.
Just easier that way.
All right, my number 2
So
is
Superman Returns, number 1. Number 2, Superman 2. Number 3 for Dan.
Superman the movie.
Superman. All right.
Number 4.
You want me to tell you what's left?
No, I got it.
Okay.
Number 4 is Superman 3.
Okay. All right.
Number 5 is Dawn of Justice. I can't believe I'm having that ranked so high.
It's
These
weird.
Superman movies are terrible.
It's really weird. Yeah, it's tough. They were hard to do.
Number
Yeah.
6, Supergirl.
Okay.
Number 7, Man of Steel. And number 8, Superman 4, The Quest for Peace.
Is that right?
I'm happy with that ranking.
All right. That's very interesting. I don't think I would have predicted that. Quite that order. But you probably wouldn't be able to predict my order either. So.
Okay, well, let's do it.
All right. Number 1 is Superman 1. Number 2 is Man of Steel.
Oh, God.
Hey, you put Superman Returns as your number 1.
I
so,
know. Good point.
Yeah. Number 3 is Superman 2.
Uh-huh.
Number 4 is Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice, director's cut.
Yeah, it's weirdly high on both of ours.
Right, it's 4 on mine and 5 on yours.
Yeah.
Number 5, Superman 4: The Quest for Peace.
That's too high.
Number 6, Superman Returns. Number 7, Superman 3, and number 8, Supergirl.
Okay. Yeah, I had it higher than you because I like that high school stuff.
Mine actually, right? Yeah, I like the Superman fighting each other thing, but
I know.
it's not enough. But I did put next to mine my star rating for each of them, and that helped me out because this was hard to do.
Well, I know that I gave Supergirl a 1 and ranked it higher than Man of Steel, which I gave a 2. So I'm already fucking up there.
I kind of like that though. There's nothing wrong. That helps put credence to the fact that the star ratings aren't always what you end up falling back.
To me, the star ratings are like a legit critical assessment of the movie, whereas the rankings are how much we enjoyed watching them.
Right. Very good. That's right.
Yeah.
And my order is like kind of my order is kind of what I would like to watch again in that particular order. That
Sure.
type of thing. Yeah.
Okay, let's.
That's it.
We're done with Superman. Fucking finally.